Dump off some of these weaker troops here into Hassan Folk. Take some of these higher end troops. But we've got a pretty full army at this stage, right? I'm okay with Hassan Folk having a nice big garrison here. You really do want 3 or 4 cities that have just, look at this, 49 master archers, a bunch of palace guards. You really do want some cities that are like this, because if and when you suffer defeat, and heaven forbid where you get captured, you've got to rebuild your army, right? If your cities are barren of troops, you're kind of like a gambler who put all your money on red and it fucking came up white or whatever. You know, I don't play the roulette. What is it? Black and red or black and white or whatever, right? You want to make sure you have some chips behind in case you fucking get captured. So another thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to change Arwa out. We have this other companion, speaking of healer skills. Where's this gal? Talia Willowbark. This is another one of the healers that we're leveling up, and I'm going to give her more. We just changed the party leader of this group. I'm going to give her more injured troops before we head down to Vostrom. See, 225 medicine skills. She's getting some good medicine skills. I think she has 6 or 7 attributes already now into medicine. So she's power leveling, right? We're pushing these companions fast. Guys ask all the time, how do you get companions to whatever, level 30 or level 40 like in our other campaign? There are little things like this that you want to do that'll help. Of course, one of the biggest keys is just winning battles. Nobody would ever possibly believe how many battles we fought in my deathmatch campaign. If you have no experience, no idea what I'm talking about, you can explore the channel a little bit. Unfortunately, I don't have a start to finish campaign for that, but it was an unbelievably long and difficult challenge. We're not going to fight everybody in this campaign. We're going to use our brain a little bit. We're going to probably have the Aserai as an ally for the entire campaign, and we're going to need them, right? We're facing juggernaut opponents here. Now, Arwa doesn't have a horse, right? We've been leveling her athleticism, and I don't really have a good banner. I wish I had a speed banner, or a reduced arrow. Oh, here, we do have a speed banner of Dust Devils. So she can now lead an infantry division. I'm probably going to put her back on a horse at some point, but I want to get her athleticism so she gets these extra hit points. I think she can get there. I don't really know what the cap is. So we're going to try to get her to 275 athleticism. Her skills are very slowly moving up, of course, because she came sort of to the family fully spec'd, right? She's been high level basically ever since Wazoo married her. Now, there's a few other things I want to do here. These are just minor things. With Arwa, we're going to start to switch her to javelins. She actually has better throwing, more throwing points. God, we got shit javelins. We need to buy some javelins. She actually has more throwing skill than bow skill. So we're going to change that for a bit and level up her throwing skill. We may switch back at some point, especially if I get some perk points. I like more archers in the army. The other thing I want to do too is I want to dump some armies here, right? We're going to dismiss a handful of these guys because I want them to help protect Hassan Folk and the villages around here, right? There's Aserai fucking forces everywhere. Rajaya is still alive, declared war on the Valandians, and that's good. We like that, right? Rajaya is now fighting the Valandians. We need somebody to fight the Valandians besides us. We're getting quests done. This is that sound was some of these quests we did on our way over to Hassan Folk, and these guys are now coming back laden with booty and troops, which is a beautiful thing for us, right? As we head over to Vostrom. It's going to be close, right? It's a long ways away, and they've already started to siege down the Citadel. I'm going to definitely regret coming to Hassan Folk here if we can't get to Vostrom. Sometimes you're pressed with these kind of decisions in a campaign, and I decided Hassan Folk is more important. We don't actually have any Aserai cities, so Hassan Folk is the only city we have right now. And here you see our little satellite armies out there cleaning the fucking, scouring the way here of all these Aserai fucks. Part of me really wants peace, right? I really want the Sultan to just be a bigger man than me. We're almost like Putin and Zelensky at this stage. Nobody wants to submit to the other's demands. And evidently, even though we're clearly defeating him, I suppose that's probably how Putin and Zelensky both feel. They're like, come on, man, come to the table and bring me some really good terms. And that's how you get fucking never-ending war. Eventually, I may beg Guzid for peace. We shall see. It will fuck with my role-playing if we're at war with him the whole fucking game here. I mean, we've been beating the shit out of the Aserai now for quite some time. Basically, since we declared ourselves independent, right? I mean, Cole hasn't been just smashing through their empire or their kingdom because they don't have much of a kingdom, right? They have fucking one city or two cities and one or two castles. They have lots of armies though. Look at these fucks just swarming in here like roaches. We're gonna push this guy out of the way. Hopefully those other armies don't all get captured. There's a ton of Aserai forces here, and we've got to get over to Vostrom ASAP. We're in a race here against the clock. I've gained a pretty good feel for how long it takes to move and how long it takes for a city to collapse. It's under 200 now. It's gonna be close. I think we'll make it. So I'm gonna recruit a few of these armies here just because they're close, and I don't know if this is 10,000 Khazate or 2,000. So we will pick these guys up now that we've closed the distance. We're gonna make it. In fact, we probably have time to add a few more of these small armies. What do we got here? It's a bunch of little armies, 600. We've got a large force, but I can't really tell how many Khazate this is. I'm going to have to just engage it. The city really is about to fall, down to 100. I'd like to add these guys here. We've got no troops to recruit, no prisoners. We're doing a lousy job recruiting prisoners. I'll have to look at my perks. Maybe I don't have the right perks for that shit. I would have thought by now we'd have tons and tons of prisoners wanting to join us, right? Especially with Wazuban just fucking plowing the road, right? We're just mowing through everywhere, right? And so you see 307 medicine skill. We're going to take some of these troops back from Coraine, right? Coraine is, she's the daughter of Caladog. She is married to one of the brothers of Wazuban. I think Ragged. I can't remember. Doesn't matter. Send her some troops. Oh shit, I'm sending her prisoners. We need to send her some troops. Where's my troops here? Send her some scrub troops. Why? Because she doesn't have the hit point benefit that Wazuban, right? We want to make sure that our elite troops are getting the hit point benefit, not fucking recruits. It doesn't matter if a recruit gets 50 more hit points. We need our Battanian Fiend Champ, right? Our 15 Battanian Fiend Champs to get 15 or 50 more hit points. Monchug is here. All right, Monchug. This fucking guy's still kicking. And of course his stats are elite. He's got a strong army here. Look at this shit, in fact. That's incredible. His whole army is horse archers. 130 cons guards. In fact, there's a ton of horse archers here. Oh shit, there's fucking 3 defenders. So we have to engage right now. I can't wait for this fucking, this Jawal. It went from like 110 to 3 in like a blink of an eye. Alright, well, so this is for Vostrom. If we can't win here, we're going to lose Vostrom. Man, this is going to be a tough fight. We get some of these perks done here. I'm not going to be able to call anybody else. So we just have to fight this as is. You know, 3 defenders, that means there's only going to be 3 people sallying out from the garrison, right? Three brave fellas running out. Die, you bastards! You can just picture it'd be a funny thing to see 3 guys rushing out against 2,000 Khazate, and the guy at the front, some bull cut militia, I'll tear your limbs! And he gets shot to death by 300 arrows. That would be a hilarious skit. We'll see if we can make something like that as a funny cutscene. I love adding a little humor to such a morbid, violent game. That healer is at Danustica. He's starting to level up. I'm just doing a handful of these perks here because this is going to be a tough battle. Of course, I said that the last 2 battles and we just blew everything out of the water. So we'll see. Right, Wazuban definitely has a head of steam going on here. But this is interesting. Lots of horse archers, lots of archers. This is potentially very difficult. Now, I've got my shield. I've got... I don't have a polearm. I wish I had a polearm for Khazate, but we will wield our 2-handed axe and do the best we can with it. It's a lousy battlefield to fight them on. I don't have really any tactical advantages at all. It's all open. It's basically a battlefield custom made for the Khazate. This guy just came back. This is a new companion. This is the Boar guy. He's another one of our companions. He'll be leading an army group almost always this whole campaign. Maybe we'll give him a fief way down the road, right, if he survives. And again, most of this should be very standard to you, although I'm going to have to come up with a cohesive plan here. We cannot just use standard approaches here. We will lose for sure. We're going to have to get a little diabolical with the terrain. We're going to have to look for water or trees or a ridge or something. I mean, we've got... No... It's too open there. This water, there's not enough of it, and where we'd be shot to pieces down in the bowl there. Can get a look at the 3rd, though. Mostly shock troops in here, which is good. Right now, it's a disadvantage in this battle somewhat because horse archers are sort of the nemesis to shock troops. We'll have to protect these guys. The 1st is a nice infantry division full of shielded guys. And we have archers, archers mixed in with the 6th. We have a lot of shock troops. In fact, our 6th division is normally skirmishers. We actually have 2 divisions of shock troops. That's how many shock troops Wazuban has in the army here. Now, I'm going to overload the 4th because he has a better banner. Decreased taken ranged attack damage. You know what I can do here? We can do a ring defense. This 2nd division captain is one of the brothers of Wazuban. Now, if I wanted to win no matter what, we would just cheese and use this side over here. We'd be able to set up a ring defense or a compacted defense and completely funnel them down that chute and destroy them. We're not going to do that in this campaign. We're going to fight like men. We're going to fight like there is no boundary to the map, right? That's cheese anyways. So we're going to fight in the open here, even though it'll make it harder. Nice big circle here. I'll probably add a few horses to that. Inside this circle, we're going to put an archer division and a shock troop division, right? Probably the 3rd. I've got to be careful at the beginning, though, because shock troops on this terrain are not going to have a lot of protection from arrows because of the uneven nature of this terrain, right? It's highly hilly and ridged, and the problem with that is that means that the horse archers will occasionally come over a ridge and be shooting down into your ring, and you might as well dig a grave in that case because they're shooting down over your horses, over your protection. Now, I can't use this ridge for the 3rd and the 6th. What I can essentially do is hide those guys back there, and then if and when the horse archers circle, we'll pull them to the other side of the ridge, right? We're basically doing a peekaboo ridge with our infantry, and they're not shooting, but they're strictly going to do that to survive. So definitely not cheese. It's just a way to for you guys to keep your shock troops alive, right? I'm trying to give you guys other things you guys can do. I've got an enormous tool bag of tactics, and I'm happy to share with you fellas. So doing this on the fly is very difficult. We're moving up to 2nd, 1st, 4th, and 5th in a hurry because I want those units in position first. I'm going to drag the 3rd and 6th over the other side of that ridge. I've got cavalry out in the front here and then the horse archers off to the side, and that's because we're going to use them both to screen and then to attack. The 8th Corps is up in the enemy's face and shield wall, and they're just simply to sort of push the horse archers back and buy us time to set up here. Our archers are starting to get into position. The line of sight is not terrific. We're going to make the best of it. And again, 3rd and 6th Division, you're going to see me just plop them over here and say, you little vulnerable two-handed guys with no shields, stand over there. Now this infantry division, right, we're just going to have them face the enemy. You'll see it swivel it around almost like it's a screen when you're getting sun or too much wind on you, right? Wazuban is a fucking flying maniac just like his dad. There's a little bit more control, but he's a maniac too. I love playing like a superhero in Bannerlord. You gotta fucking fly all over the battlefield. Now these horse archers are gonna circle us eventually, I think. But right now, this is advantage us, right? They're circling back and forth in front of our archers shooting. That's not gonna go particularly well for them. Not to mention, Wazuban is getting his axe dulled on their face. Now you see our arrows raining in. They have a bunch of archers down there. Heavy cav is coming. All right, so let's move the 7th back. We will swivel the infantry around and pelt these guys. We will charge with the shock troops too. If they get up close to the ridge, we will charge with those boys. They're close enough. These fucking bastards. Let's pull these guys back here. The shock troops can charge just in case there's any horses that are close to them. Stupid fucks will be dead men. These guys are doing a beautiful job of screening while we dispatch the rest of their troops. The screen is highly green at this stage. So far, so good. Now, I'm pulling the 3rd and 6th down a little bit because I think they're horse archers. I can't see where they are. I think they started to circle around behind us. Now, these guys ran right into the fucking center of the ring. This is where the ring defense really shines. All these cavalry are trapped. They're moving slow. Their backs are facing the archers. And predictably, they all get destroyed. Just fucking eviscerated. Now, yeah, they sure are. The horse archers are circling, so we're going to get the 3rd and 6th protected inside the ring here. We will get some, I can probably get the Cav Division, the 8th Corps, facing the enemy forces there. It depends on whether or not they charge. We have to be highly fluid with this strategy. Now, this is not normal. You don't have to be this dynamic with this strategy. Oh, shit. Sorry, dude. I almost killed my own horse archers there. But this is a battle that we can lose, right? So I'm really feeling like I have to do all these additional steps here to win. I've got the 8th in a square here. We can move them to a wall. We've got a bunch of archers down there. The enemy has a really horse archer and archer heavy army, which is very nasty. I mean, you can see our guys getting a scorched. Oh, they're charging. All right, charge, 3rd and 6th charge. Let's pull this 7th and 8th toward the enemy. We'll try to clog up all the lanes here because we need to make them pay a toll to come through here. God, they did a lot of damage on the way out. That was a pretty even exchange, though. We definitely caused some fucking horse archers to meet their maker there. Can punish a few more here. They're attacking the square, which we like, right? That's optimal. Wazuban is fighting like a possessed man, fucking cutting everything to ribbons. Alright, now let's see if we can't dispatch the rest of these forces here. We can move the 1st up with the 3rd and 6th rotating. The fucking horse archers are still circling. I think we'll gamble. I think we'll gamble and try to destroy these horse archers, or destroy these archers down here before their horse archers can cycle. We'll get our infantry divisions pulled down here. The 7th, the 2nd. The 2nd's got to stay in a ring. I think we'll just do the 7th, 8th, 1st, 3rd, and 6th. They have a ton of fucking marksmen. Of course, their whole army is marksmen. God damn it, and they're kiting. It's almost like they watched our Killbox fucking episodes. This is optimal strategy by the enemy here, and quite honestly, it's foiling our plans here. Like I said before, an horse archer army from Khanate is probably their best army makeup. Their infantry's weak, their archers are pretty good, and of course their horse archers are perfect for kiting. Right? If their archers pull back with their horse archers attacking as well, that is like almost a perfect Khanate strategy. Now I would be cycling and circling as well, and I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't be running sort of right through the enemy midst. Yeah, let's try to fucking get another fucking assault on them here. 300 and something horse archers. God damn, that's a lot. And of course they're elite horse archers. Fuck you guys. Die, you bastards. God, they did a lot of damage charging through there. It's mostly Consguards. Consguards and the heavy horse archers, right? This is a nasty force. But we're not about to give up. Fuck you, horse archers, right? Back and forth we go here. Every time they cycle charge, we're going to fucking charge right into their face, right? I've got infantry here, and at some point or other, these infantrymen have to get a hold of Khan's guards, right? That archer division down there is really raking us with shots. We've got to dispatch these archers. 323 archers down there. They have almost no infantry. This is a disaster for our army setup. All right, let's bring our forces down here. Losses be damned. I mean, if we retreat, it'll be worse. But this is incredible. Those are all fucking marksmen. That is literally 350 marksmen. Wow, and it's not incredible, actually. This is par for the course with the strength and AI mod. This is not a normal army. And they are scorching. And they're kiting again. You motherfuckers. Look how fast they're running, too. You know what's going on here partly is they have fucking... probably not just perks, but they probably have banners. There's nothing that says the enemy lords don't have speed banners and shit like that. These guys are running around like fucking... they're on crack. And we're in trouble here. They're scorching me. Our forces are coming up, but man, they're taking a beating to get here. Now we're going to get our revenge. This infantry line just reached them. A lot of these guys seen their brothers shot to pieces. Let's roar into these bitches here and fucking rip off some arms. I love they roar. Roar, just fucking start roaring. They will have infantry reinforcements coming, so we've got to make this pay. In fact, they're right here. They're holding the ridge. They're not bailing. This Khanate force today came to fight. I like it. And cut some banner knights down. Of course, the Valandians, there's Khanate forces that have banner knights, right? Because they don't have a strong enough force. Let's give them some banner knights. They've got legionaries here. What a sick fucking game this becomes with the strength and AI mod. They got elite mercenary macemen in here. We're going to have to hold a ridge here. This ridge is a quasi-peekaboo ridge. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm tucking our troops in behind this little hump back of the hill because their archers are scorching our shock troops. Our archers can joust right there. Those guys have pretty good line of sight to where their archers are. And we can get our cav line here to give us a little bit of protection, but I can't charge over that ridge. They have like 300 fucking or 400 archers on the other side of that ridge. With horse archers circling us, we're in a really bad situation here. And it's mostly a rock, paper, scissors. If the enemy here was heavy infantry or even heavy cavalry, we would decimate, destroy them. But horse archers, this is probably their one perfect battle setup here, is to be facing a huge army of shock troops, right? Because we have a hard time closing on their archers. They're kiting. Their horse archers, of course, we're rarely going to get a hold of with our shock troops. Their archers are behind us, well, or in front of us, depending on they're that direction, and the horse archers are behind us here, cutting down our reinforcements. This is a nightmare. If I pull back, their archers are going to scorch us the whole time. So we're in a bad spot here. I'm starting to get... I don't panic, of course. It's a fucking video game, and panic never helped anybody, of course. But I'm very concerned at this stage. Khan's guards are running through here, fucking skewering our reinforcements. They're running like 200 miles an hour, too. These guys are running incredibly fast. I'm killing my own fucking companions. Sorry, dude, you look like the enemy. Alright, they just ran into our shock troops attack. This is our one shot to make a big press of fucking green here. God, they are coming through here like it's a race. I mean, look at that shit. That guy, it seemed like he was in fast forward. Now, I can't charge over the ridge here. This has got to be a very limited charge because on the other side of that ridge, I can see it right there. 366 fucking marksmen. And I don't know that they're all marksmen, but I'm willing to bet. I mean, they have, if they're not marksmen, they're Imperial Sergeant Crossbow, right? They're all fucking tier 5. We've got to continue to hold this ridge. It's a quasi-peekaboo ridge. The reason it's not a true peekaboo ridge is we don't have enough archers here. Wazuban is rethinking having all shock troops, right? And of course, we don't have all shock troops, but this is a battle here where I wish I had an additional 100 archers. I've got 110 archers or so. I've got 110, 120 archers, and they have, 600. And half of them are on a horse. This is not optimal. Now, they are kind of like battling here right at the margins of this. This is our chance, right? These kind of opportunities here don't come around that often. Anytime the enemy's fucking wanting to fight head to head with you, get on this fucking horse. You're going to take those opportunities every time. We'll see how long it lasts. Now they're already pulling back. God damn it. I've got dismounted camels running off. Those are the smartest camels on the field. They realize that we're in trouble. We're basically hiding behind this ridge, and anytime the enemy wants, they can circle us with horse archers. We're going to have to make a death charge around this ridge here eventually. Our reinforcements are coming up. I can put a couple archer divisions on the ridge opposite of us to sort of suppress the enemy from coming over. Is that heavy cav coming too? That's what it looks like. The enemy's got fucking a big tranche of heavy cav coming over. I wish the enemy had all heavy cav. These arrows are just absolutely biting. It's death by 1,000 arrows. And I just don't have the shields. So I don't have 200 heavy horse that I can put up there and plow the road with. We're holding a tenuous line here, but we're paying for it, right? You can hear the sounds, just people being shot over and over again. And I'm starting to feel like if I don't kill 200 people in this battle, we lose, right? So you might see Wazuban go a little crazy. Motherfucking Khanate. Yeah, they are wailing away in here with their glaives, too. I think we got to go over that ridge. Look at those fucks. Those archers just thick. Maybe we can get cavalry here, a small line of cavalry, and they're already kiting. You motherfuckers. Oh, shit. It's long. Look how long it is. Oh, shit. They have infantry mixed in it, too. What a nightmare for us. That is a fuck ton of troops. That's got to be 700 or 800 troops here. Mixed with horse archers, and it's 1,000 arrows hitting our guys. It's just an immolation of our troops as they close. Well, we're here. We've joined the party. We definitely paid for it, and we're not here to fucking drink punch and eat fucking crackers and hors d'oeuvres, motherfuckers. We're here to behead Khanate units. We've got to just fight like fucking demons here. Some of our reinforcements aren't caught up yet. We're just gonna have to bore in here and hope they arrive. Fuck it. We're going to foot. Motherfucking Khanate, come get some. Now, of course, you'll find these horse archers and archers and shit, they block better than legionaries with their little tiny sword. That would never be a thing, but it is what it is, right? This axe would just break their sword hand. Get in here. Well, our shock troops are giving them a beating. God, there's a fuck ton, though. There's a huge flush of green. Come on, boys, push through this shit. We gotta hold this till our reinforcements arrive. It's just fucking chaos. I mean, I'm in ecstasy. This is fucking incredible. The ecstasy of battle is fucking orgasmic here. It's just carnage. Both sides are roaring. It's anybody's match. There's shields and horses fucking flying everywhere. And Wazuban is fucking raking a path, just blowing up Khanate units left and right. I wish I had more health. I just looked down and he's about to drop. We're holding a good line here, but man, is it bloody, right? We're suffering a lot of losses here. I just got speared. It won't take much now. And just like that, fucking Wazuban gets ignominiously dropped by a low-level horse. And now we've got the highest-voiced fiend champ of all time just gets speared in the face. We're fucked. I just looked at the power bar and I look at our situation. They have a huge amount of horse archers charging. We still didn't destroy all their archers. They still have cons guards here. I mean, we could try to reform a line over the top of this edge here, and maybe, just maybe, there's a bit of a peekaboo ridge, but man, there's fucking peasants charging. We've got scrubs charging. The one tiny bit of good news is that it's possible that the enemy's so busy with this siege that we can bail. Because look at this shit. This is just 400, 500 horse archers. They still have cons guards in here shooting. I think it's time to fucking bail, fellas. I hate bailing, right? Discretion is the better part of valor, though, especially when you know a loss is a certainty. If we don't run soon, we won't be able to run. Right? What happens is if you don't have enough troops, you can't leave, right? You basically get captured with the rest of the troops, and it says, you know, would you like to surrender, basically. So we're making a little valiant effort here at the end, but this battle is over. This Khazate force bested us here. God, they still have 700 troops, so we're going to try to get away. The good thing is I do have this Jawal guy coming. He didn't enter the battle, but I think he'll help us get out of here. Come on, join. Don't be afraid. This guy's fucking running. Join our army, you fucking... Okay, we should be good. It says 0 defenders. They're all camped out there. 0 defenders, it says. There it fell. Vostrom just fell. God damn it. Well, you know what? Actually, fellas, I like this shit. Why do I like this? Because it keeps the suspense up for you guys. This is not a fairy tale, right? This is a brutal deathmatch hell mode Bannerlord campaign. And as much as I hate the protagonist right here, Wazuban, this legend, marching his way through Calradia, if he won every single battle, I think it'd get kind of old. So, as much as it sucks that we lost that battle, that was a hell of a brawl. I definitely don't feel bad about how we did there tactically or how we fought. I think there was just too many fucking archers and horse archers. And the enemy, quite frankly, the AI, I tipped my cap this time. I don't know if I'm going to wrap this up or not. I got to take a piss. Either way, I appreciate you fellas for watching, right? You guys have been amazing, all the support the last 3 to 6 months. Of course, you want to subscribe if you want to see more from this campaign. With all that said, fellas, please hit that like button, and I will see you guys next time. All right, friends, welcome back again to another episode of Tactical Enlightenment. Our YouTube channel here is dedicated to all things Bannerlord related. We have the Strengthen AI mod loaded, and we are going to resume our Aserai campaign here. Welcome back again. This is our Aserai campaign that is about 35 hours or 35 episodes into gameplay. Now, we just suffered a disastrous defeat at Vostrom. It's only Wazuban's second defeat as leader of the clan. A very powerful Khazate force led by Monchug put us off there, basically resisted our assault as we tried to relieve the city, and the city ultimately fell. Now we're at war with 3 kingdoms here, the Aserai, the Khazate, and the Valandians, and all 3 kingdoms are manifestly stronger than us. Of course, we have just the minor clan that's with us. I mean, look at the Valandians. They have 10 times the strength that we have here. Look at the cities, 44 cities and castles, and we have 4. Wazuban is cruising right along. In fact, at some point or other, I probably got to do some of these perks. I've been kind of waiting for an episode to talk about some of these perks. I think I'm just going to blaze through them right now. This has been a conundrum throughout the campaign. A lot of these I've already talked about. Certain perks I prefer for certain characters. Some of them are automatic, like the 275 perk. And so I'm not going to spend too much time here at this stage. We will be talking about perks more later on. I want to talk more about the Nemesis characters that are coming up later on. And I also want to talk about the units of the Aserai later on. The more I play this campaign, the more comfortable I feel sort of speaking as an authority on the Aserai units. Not an expert, but just someone who's played them a lot. Now, our city situation is not great. I need reinforcements here. I would love to make an assault on Khazate, but of course, first we have to figure out where this Khazate force is going to go, right? They were at Vostrom. They took Vostrom. They're likely to leave a garrison there. Hopefully, they leave a sizable garrison. That way, we can attack them somewhere else. It's likely they're going to go to Poros. Poros would be my bet. If they go anywhere, they're going to go to Poros. Now, I want to send some units to my healing companions here. I've talked about this before. It's a really good way to level up our healers. I can basically just dump troops, right? She's at 247 medicine skill. The other gal's a little lower, I think. And in between battles like this, where where I almost said Zuvan, where Wazoo has 200 characters, 200 injured characters, we will dump some of our injured on these other companions. I think we'll go probably to Husson Folk. There's more troops at Husson Folk. One or the other. Well, that settles it. I was gonna say we're gonna. Oh, this motherfucker. This guy leaves. Fuck no. These guys abandoning us again here. These minor clans. We need all the help we can get, and I can't afford to have this guy just ditch us. Where's Nuldan? Here he is. Yeah, you're serving us, motherfucker. Of course, the mercenary process, like a lot of the other components of the game, is not terrific. They just basically leave with no notice, ostensibly because someone else is going to pay them more money. Well, we should have the option, like a free agent in sports. I should be able to match his offer plus 100 dinars and then retain his services. No, instead he just takes off. He's like an aloof girlfriend who just fucking ditches you on a whim. All right, we're going to go to Danustica. I was going to say we might go to Husson Folk for troops. Sturgeons have peaced with the Western Empire. I'm still scoreboard watching. We're going to recruit every single fucking minor clan army. At this stage, we're hurting because I couldn't even have Noldan or whatever rejoin our army. His army wasn't large enough to join. See if this guy's the clan leader. We're still taking any clans that we can at this stage. Now, I was going to try to stay sort of Aserai correct culture. And we will at times, right? But we're gonna, right now, I need troops bad, right? We're under assault by 3 different kingdoms. Guzid, the war-crazed Guzid, the Sultan of the Aserai, refuses to give peace to us, even though we've been whipping the shit out of the Aserai. And indeed, now they're sieging Danustica here. So, Rema, I thought that she was pregnant. She won the tournament at Poros. Hopefully she's got her defense shoes on, right? Because she's likely to be attacked there by Khanate. Now, Teha, an Aserai force here. We outnumber this Aserai force. Oh, the Khanate want peace. Huh? You invade our territory, and now you want peace. How about, let's see, we'll come up with an answer. Go fuck yourselves, right? We're going to invade your territory. We're going to rage some shit. We're going to take Fostrom back, and then we're going to throttle your Khan. Whenever I get a hold of them again, I'm going to fight angry. This battle I'm going to fight. A lot of times I'll skip battles if we have a demonstrative, something or other, whatever that word is, a considerable lead. We need to minimize casualties here. Our army is at a reduced state here. In fact, I'm going to back out. I just realized I need to make a little change here. I want to grab these units from these companions that I had healing up. Because I want them to benefit from the plus hit points that Wazuban gives them. He gives them from the medicine skill. I would say there's no way to know for sure, but unless you sat there with like pen and paper and added it all up. But I bet Wazuban's troops have about 180 to 200 hit points. With all the extra perks that he has, including that medicine skill, they're beasts. And so, of course, I want the troops, as many as possible, under Wazuban. I could talk about a little quasi-exploit related to that later on, and if I don't, you guys can remind me. Right now, we're going to talk about battle here. I've got just this set up here to destroy this Aserai force. It looked like they were infantry heavy. We've got a mix of shock troops, cav, and archers, but most importantly, we've got water between us. So we're going to be able to pound them, excuse me, we're going to be able to pound them with arrows and crossbow bolts, get some horse archers on a flank, hopefully get them to charge into the water against us and immolate them, either in the water or on the shore. Get some of our captains assigned here. I've got a few captains that I need to get new banners for. I need more banners that reduced range attack damage. I needed those kind of banners against the Khanate. Sometimes banners are the difference between winning and losing a battle. If you think about a 15% less damage, that's a lot. And of course, all of the units in that group get that bonus. I think the banner bearer dude has to be running around with his actual flag for that to be effective, but most of the time one of the guys picks it up if you know, a couple of the guys that are carrying it get shot down. All right, so let's talk some tactics here. I've got 2 different archer divisions. I'm going to see what the Aserai do, but we're basically going to stay back to start. If they charge the water, we will charge. We will get troops onto them while they're in the water, pound them with ammunition, and then pull back to roughly where we are here. Now, I'm going to use shield and shock, the 2nd and 3rd division. The 2nd is cav, it's spear cav. There's probably some cataphracts and stuff like that in there. We're going to have shock troops, a huge shock troop division and the 3rd division behind them, and we will trample the enemy from a flank with those 2 units. That'll be key to minimizing casualties in this battle. We're going to win. I hate to break that. I mean, most of the guys watching this that have any experience know that we're going to win this battle. It's just a question of how well we can perform here. And it matters, right? It matters here because we don't need 500, 600, 700 casualties. I would love to get out of here with 300 or less. All right, so 2nd and 3rd division over here on our left flank. They are staying back, except the horse archers. Oh shit, and you see the effect of this, what's it called, powerful hero mod. That hero took a 250 shot right to the head. That would behead them normally, and he's still over here yelling orders to his troops. You're not getting away. We got Jawals all around this guy. Wahan just ate a javelin right in his back. And again, I like that. That makes the enemy lords potent. Now, he still went down like a bitch, but ultimately, it's better than them just being absolutely weak, pathetic units on the field. They will fight back, and the Nemesis troops that we're going to be introducing soon. I've already talked about a few. We're going to have a whole episode, or at least half an episode, dedicated to talking about the Nemesis troops. These are going to be spectacularly powerful enemy lords that function the same way that an antagonist functions in a movie, right? In a movie script, there's some incredibly powerful, diabolical hero, Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight, or whatever it is, right? You've got a bad guy, and that's what makes the movie really interesting, really suspenseful, right? If the good guy's overpowering and there's no Dark Lord, the whole Lord of the Rings sucks, right? If the Lord of the Rings, if the Dark Lord was some shrinking violet, whatever, pansy, choose your narrative, and got obliterated by Gandalf, just walked up to him and just slapped him with a staff, then it wouldn't be a good book. It wouldn't be a good movie. The fact that he's like this all-powerful, all-seeing, flaming eye makes the whole story that much more dramatic, right? He's got this limitlessly huge castle that he sits on, or the dark, what's it called, Barad-dûr or whatever, the Dark Tower or whatever. That makes it that much more intense. All right, so horse archers over here on the flank. We've got Cav now right in the face of the enemy holding a shield wall, throwing javelins in there. Those guys are going to do major damage, and I have our archer. I see you coming, motherfucker. I have our archer divisions here at the shore, just peppering the enemy with arrows. I'm trying to get them to attack. I don't want to have to charge their location. Of course, we attack them, so theoretically, we have to attack. However, if you do enough damage to an enemy, whether they have infantry or not, they will charge you. And so that's sort of what I'm trying to initiate here. And it makes sense, right? They just sit there and get peppered with arrows till they're dead. The battle's over. So I think they're wading across already. Is that infantry? It is. It's already in the water. So now we can start our kill box process. Kill box is a tactic I've been developing for quite some time. I even see guys like on the forums and Reddit saying, yeah, I used a kill box and this and that. I think that's pretty rad, right? This is essentially the naming for it. I didn't like create the English lexicon for it, but certainly this tactic in Bannerlord is something that I've been spreading around, and I think that's fantastic. People who've never seen it before are about to witness a savage tactic. It's an envelopment process, right? This is very similar to Hannibal at Khanate. I'm taking the 7th and 8th Corps and bringing it over here to our right flank. I'm going to speak really quickly. If you need to, you can slow down the speed in the dialogue to half speed, right? You can change the actual speed of it. I know that'll change the speed of the battle and make the music sound weird probably, but we're gonna talk quickly here. We're going to throw javelins into some of our companions because I'm doing so many different things at once. The enemy infantry actually backed off. That's the worst thing they can possibly do. So I've got our archers and horse archers now on both flanks. We're essentially creating a hollow area between all our different troops. Crossbow here. The 1st Infantry Division, we can move back a little bit further. 6th Infantry is over here on our left flank. And the 2nd and 3rd are just waiting there like cougars, wildcats, choose your word, ready to pounce. They are going to bore in here as soon as this enemy is vulnerable, and they're just pouring in here like it's fucking Halloween candy or something. You guys are all dead men. Now we're going to bring this Cav division around and start to encircle these bitches. 7th, 8th, and 6th from that side, kill this fucking Cav guy. And now we're going to bring the 2nd and 3rd around the other side. Once these guys are starting to charge, all 8 divisions will essentially be told to charge. It's an F1, F3. The key, though, is the preparation and the timing of it all, right? Look at all these motherfuckers. All these shock troop guys bore in. Cavalry envelop the enemy from behind. And now everybody charges, right? And this is just going to be a 40-second, 30-second extermination of Aserai force. You see the death spam just fucking fizzes to the bottom. It's moving as fast as it can, and there's very little allied depth, right? Even though they have a sizable force, it's just an extermination. Now we're going to continue to move aggressively because I see archers. Let's go after their archers. Let's bring the 2nd, 7th, and 8th up here. These are all Cav divisions. We're going to run these guys over. That way none of their forces survive this first onslaught. And this is basically the battle, right? This is one of the keys to tactics in Bannerlord. It's just like chess. If you take the opponent's queen, bishop, and knight in the first 9 moves, the fucking match is over. The guy shakes your hand. That's what we're doing here. Now, these Aserai forces aren't smart enough to give up, right? They're going to make us chop off every single fucking limb, and we are more than willing to oblige them for that request. I mean, it's good night. Aserai forces. Now we're going to reset here just because they have forces in the river. No reason for us to engage our infantry on their infantry in the river. We'll use our ranged units. I've got the 7th and 8th cavalry here on our right flank. I can stretch them across on the other side of this water, and that'll make it even harder for the infantry to reach our troops. Moving up our infantry and crossbow divisions right to the edge of this shore. I don't actually want my troops in the water yet. I just want them skirmishing from the edge of it, right? That way they're throwing javelins, firing crossbow bolts. Now we can get our horse archers spread out in this shallow area. The benefit of that is that shallow area, our horse archers will be able to set up quickly into that position, right? These are all things that the more you play Bannerlord, and a lot of you guys are probably doing all this, these are all things that as a tactician, each one of these steps is important. Now, there's a little bit of messy combat in there. I think some of our cavalry got kind of caught up and harangued by some of their infantry. Their archers are right at the edge here. And these guys are going to get just fucking filleted, right? We got infantry and shock troops moving up. I probably have a few too many shock troops in this army. It was a problem against the Khanate, and we're suffering more losses than I would expect here, too. But it doesn't really matter. We're talking 10 extra losses, maybe. You can see the death spam just fizzes to the bottom. Try not to get killed here at the end of this battle. We do have the Death for All mod tuned and turned way up, right? So there's increased odds of noble units, including Wazuban, dying in battle. You're going to see me occasionally pull back. It's almost going to look like cowardice. Not in this battle, though, right? This battle, I'm fighting a little angry. I want some fucking blood on my armor. Frankly, I want Manchug, right? We're going to fucking try to seek a vengeance. Cole is mortal, right? We lost that battle. The Khanate beat us. That's all there is to it. They had a better army on the battlefield than we did, and frankly, it was a rock, paper, scissors situation, right? We had too many shock troops. They had a lot of archers and horse archers, and that's basically the biggest weakness of shock troops is lots of horse archers and archers. All that said, Cole dusts himself off, right? This guy's resilient. This guy carries all of the human attributes that we should all try to basically harness, what's the right word? Basically embrace in ourselves, right? This guy is he perseveres in the face of difficulty. He comes up with a new plan. He doesn't give up, right? When he's at a low point, Cole just, and I keep saying Cole, that's been his name for like 7 episodes. Wazuban dusts himself off, goes back to the drawing board, and comes up with a better way to destroy the enemy. That's an approach we should all take to life, right? If you have a disastrous breakup with the girlfriend, you should do some introspection and try to think what you did that made things not so great, right? It's almost always both people's fault. And what I mean by that is it's very rarely just one person is this incredible, magnanimous, perfect spouse or boyfriend, girlfriend. Think about it and try to be, and even get a friend if you need to. Try to be as objectively as you can. Come up with some ways that you can improve yourself as a human and then move on, right? You persevere, and then the next lady you meet, hopefully the improved you meets an approved gal, right? And the two of you live happily ever after. We get a little cinematic backdrop here as we fucking raise our swords and shields to the sky. Our banner is glistening in the sun here, and most of our troops go home. 156 casualties, and I killed that guy with the javelin. I remember hitting that guy earlier in this battle. He was the guy smoked in the head with my axe shot. That's probably what killed him. He probably had brain matter spilling out of his ears that he didn't notice till the javelin unseated his ass. All right, we get a handful of troops here. We'll take it. We need some prisoners here. I keep losing prisoners to desertion and whatnot. You're going to see Wazuban tilt towards shock troops, right? We're going to pick up Aserai Mamluk Axemen, which, by the way, is one of the best Tier 3 units in the whole game. And I will talk about that either later in this episode or later next episode. I will try to make sure I put that in. Sometimes I forget. All right, so we're actually overstocked here. We're going to have to dump some troops off to one of our companions. But now it's time to figure out what next, right? I don't think we can go right now to Vostrom and siege. They likely have 500, 600, 700 defenders there. I got to get some reinforcements here. Oneira is besieged by the Khanate. I bet that's them right there. These motherfuckers are attacking us and the Sturgeons. And we're not at war with Sturgia. Now, we're not necessarily friends with Sturgia, but what is it? The enemy of your enemy is your friend, right? That's what's going on here, right? They want to give us peace too. The Khanate are talking out of both sides of their mouth right there. We would like to give you guys peace after we take your fucking city. Yeah, fuck you, like I said before. And understand, folks, I'm role playing. I'm angry here. This is a game. I'm having a good time. We're pretending like Wazoo's got a temper. Wazoo Bond's got a temper that he controls, and he harnesses that, right? He harnesses it into a stronger axe-swinging, maniacal, strategic madman. The garrison at Danustica is pretty light. There are some elite troops here, and I'm going to take some, but I don't want to strip too many because, of course, then it will be under assault. I would like Danustica to go without being under siege for a while. That way the food stocks can build up, and we can start to finally push the prosperity closer to 10,000. 10,000 is the prosperity goal that I have for Danustica. I can talk a little bit about that while I do just the minutia here. I'm just selling off a bunch of food. The reason why you want to have a really high prosperity in your capital city is because then it will generate a gigantic militia. Even if it's attacked, the militia will recover quickly. The idea is there's just tons of people in the city that are sick of being a blacksmith and are ready to pick up an armor, a piece of armor and a blacksmith hammer and go out on the battlefield as militia. This is enormously valuable because of the way how siege mechanics work. In an auto-resolve situation, 1,000 militia will literally defend against 3,000 or 4,000 good troops. So having a militia there will allow us to thin the garrison. That means that means Danustica will eventually be incredibly profitable. Damn, I don't have... There is a banner. I can't remember the name of the banner. It's like Testudo or something like that. That is really, it's the best for dealing with arrows, right? It's minus 15% ranged attack damage, and we need some. We don't have enough. I'd like to get 3 or 4 companions decked out with it. What I actually do is I like to have 3 or 4 on Wazuban at all times. That way, what I can do essentially is depending on who we're fighting, I'll switch banners. If we're fighting a massive infantry army, we will switch to decreased melee attack damage, and if it's the Khanate, most of our units will have decreased ranged attack damage, right? This is fairly elementary, although you do get plenty of melee damage against the Khanate as well. They end up stomping you. Shit. We're causing some deserters here because I'm thinking about too many different things at once. I'm still trying to think about why the Emperor, Holy Roman Emperor of the 1560s didn't ally himself with the Protestants of England. I've got all these thoughts rolling around in my head here, and instead we're hemorrhaging troops to thin air. I am a big fan of history, and in slower moments of this campaign, whenever that might be, we will do some history. I will talk about some history. In fact, I might talk about the history of food. The history of food is really fascinating to me because, of course, one of the most important things for armies is to feed your armies, right? There's a long line of people supposedly who have said an army marches on their stomach, not their feet, of course, is the idea. You've got to feed these motherfuckers, and it's not like you just dial up, your local grocery store. You got to have a huge logistical setup. Napoleon, Alexander, all of these guys, on top of being great war leaders, war generals, field commanders, they were tremendous at logistics. All right, so it is these Khanate fucks here. It looks like the same crew, too. It's a whole bunch of smaller, scattered armies, which is an odd phenomenon. You don't see this very often. I see this more with the Strength and AI mod. I see lots of little armies just berserkly sieging shit. Usually they make bigger armies, but it doesn't matter, right? We'll take them no matter how they come. And this battle, I'm launching in with aggression. This is going to be the similar units, similar type. I'm just stalling for daylight here, by the way, too. This is going to be, okay, we outnumber them as well. You know why? Because the Sturgeons are sallying out. The Sturgeons are quasi-allies here. We'll use them as meat shields. But in this situation, these Khanate, we now know what to expect, right? They're going to have lots of horse archers and archers. So how do you think I'm going to fight this battle? We are going to bore in recklessly on their archers. I'm going to try to essentially juggle their horse archers, and we're going to go straight to the kidney. Napoleon said that when he was following an English commander in Iberian Wars of Spain in 1809, 1810. Sword to the kidney, right? That's what we're going to do here. We're going to plow immediately towards the heart of their units so that we can kill their archers. The reason we lost the last battle, it was the last episode, is that, in addition to too many shock troops, they were able to kite with their archers. We're not going to let them. See that mass of fucks here? You guys are fucking dead. Right? We're going to surround that block of troops, and as soon as we get the opportunity, we're going to obliterate it with infantry and with heavy cav. Of course, we still have archers, and we're going to be dealing with these horse archers. I'm not just going to ignore them. That's an easy way to lose as well. What I'm going to be doing, though, is trying to juggle them. And what I mean by that is every time these guys sort of come after us, we will juggle them with some units. I will give them a shield wall of cav. I will give them a block of units in a square to chew on. Basically, like a football player, I'm going to stiff arm their horse archers while we blast into the end zone here. All right, so 5th, 6th on the far right flank. This is going to be skirmishers and archers. We're leading in the middle here with a cav line and then a shield. It's actually a square of infantry. Again, because I'm early on here, I've got to kill some of these horse archers, and I want to stiff arm them as my other troops move up. The most vulnerable spot for you when you're fighting horse archers is not actually when you're standing still, it's when you're moving, because you're moving and you're still getting smoked by arrows. That's the big advantage horse archers have, is when they move. Oh shit, I almost got fucking smoked there. Is when they move, they can still shoot and kill you. You're the one that's vulnerable. Now Manchug should be here. It looked like he was here. We're looking for his ass. Maybe I can hit him in the face with a javelin, smoke some of these guys. These shock troop guys will charge. These cav charging here are going to get obliterated. These are heavy cav charging shock troops. Again, those guys might as well try to siege the surface of the sun. They're going to get burnt to a crisp. They got archers smoking them. Our cav division here in a shield wall, square rather, is doing really well. The death spam is highly favorable for this stage. And their archers look vulnerable. All right, let's go. Let's start boring in on these motherfuckers. I'm just going to recklessly chase these guys. They're already starting to kite. That's fine. We've got cavalry this time. We're going to pursue like fucking crazed maniacs. They do have infantry to support them. That is fine. They can die too. They're making a mistake here. They're actually moving forward in a tight knot. That's not going to work well for them. They should be kiting for their lives here. Too late. I've got a giant host of cavalry now circling them. Kill them all. I wish I could emulate his voice. Now they're kiting, and they are moving fast. I bet they have a speed bonus, a speed banner. That's a thing, right? Your enemy lords, and of course, in addition to giving them all these perks, can give their units speed banners, right? They can have a captain with like a plus 30% speed bonus. And that's optimal for archers, right? For Khazate. If you're playing a Khazate, you should definitely have your archer division or divisions, plural, with speed bonus, right? They should be kiting. They should all be fucking Usain Bolt archers. You guys should be doing air squats with those guys. Those guys need to move quickly, because if you can kite with your archers and horse archers, you win. It's already over, right? It almost doesn't matter what else you do. All right. The infantry's ready to go here. Now we've got to keep their archers occupied, right? We got to start boring in here. I've got the 5th and 6th pushing in hard on the enemy's left, our right flank. I almost got speared. That's the thing when you're giving orders, right? All of a sudden you'll lose half your health. I've learned to kind of watch the guys around me and move while I'm fucking giving commands. It takes a lot of concentration, and I won't be able to talk about the history of potatoes or anything else. All right, this cav division here is eating and distracting over there. Our infantry divisions are just fucking charged, right? They're, at this stage, F1, F3 would be completely appropriate. In fact, the enemy has their infantry and vanguard behind all these archers. Well, you cowards are too late, right? We're going to just swallow up all these troops. You can see our Manavliatons bobbing up and down here violently as they maim guys. And now we have everybody surrounded by cavalry. And look at the enemy's completely surrounded now. Nobody's getting out of this. We've got cavalry just billowing through here. Billowing, that's a strange word. Boring is a better word. All right, we're going to send our 3rd Division of Cavalry to face their horse archers. Again, I told you we're going to stiff arm their horse archers. That's 250-something horse archers that we need to occupy while we destroy this vanguard. Behead some Manavliatons and keep our infantry just charging recklessly. Now, I do have an archer division back there I can pepper the horse archers with, but I want our shock troops and cavalry in the face of these archers. That's Manchug right there, isn't it? Die, motherfucker. I got an axe for your face. You're not getting away. Fuck. I fucking dropped his ass. I didn't hear him cry like a bitch, so he probably didn't die. That would be pretty epic if you killed Manchug in battle. They have some horse archers wheeling behind, and they have reinforcements coming in. We're just going to be F1, F3ing the rest of this battle. In fact, their reinforcements are pouring in quickly. That's because they're getting exterminated, right? This has been a very violent, lopsided battle. And as long as we don't fumble here at the 2-yard line, victory is ours. I got to keep our units moving forward here. Our units have to have some cohesion. If your reinforcements are too far back, obviously you can get stretched out, and that can be a problem. But I've got horse archers here. I can't tell which of these is ours. Okay, these are ours. I need to turn the little globe up again. I know I'm so guilty of keeping that little friendly fire globe, the little thing that sits above their head that tells you if they're friendly units or not. I'm really guilty of keeping it too low. I want to chop some of these horsemen to pieces from the floor, but we can also hack them to bits from our horse. I'm going to join my men here on foot, and we're going to do some Khazate shredding at the end of this battle, right? Get a little revenge here. This is totally a revenge battle. Butchered Manchug and his army here, and the screen is just filling with green as our forces here steamroll this Khazate force into the Stone Age. The next time you see these Khazate, they're all going to be wielding, like a wooden tool with a little tiny rock hammer, because we've destroyed them and steamrolled them into the Stone Age. I'm going to run with that analogy. These guys are being fucking stoned, obliterated, literally hit so hard that they're being knocked back into time. We're leading here with the 3rd Division. I'm just sending those guys forward. It's shock troops behind. We're gaining levels. It's shock troops behind cavalry here as we shove our way through their reinforcements. I'm not letting these guys shoot us. Nothing is going to stand between us and victory in this battle today. I loaded up Bannerlord a little bit angry today. Ironically, I'm caffeinated and I got to take a piss, so I might have to break after this battle. But we have achieved our vengeance here, right? Revenge is complete. Revenge is a dish best served quickly with the evisceration of a Khazate force here. Another one of our troops looks just like the enemy, of course. And that was a fucking beautiful, great feeling there. Absolutely throttling this Khazate force. It's always redeeming in Bannerlord. When you lose a big battle, it damages your confidence. I don't care who you are or how many battles you've fought. I have fought a ton of battles in Bannerlord, and when you lose the way we did to the Khazate with our army loaded to the gills with good troops and theoretically good tactics, it sets you back a little bit, right? But this is 1 step back, 3 steps forward. Wazuban here, as we celebrate with a little overview of the battle, now has a full head of steam, right? We've destroyed this Khazate army. It's either recapturing Vostrom, or we may take the highly aggressive approach and go straight to the jugular and start attacking the Khazate homeland. I'm not going to give them peace readily, but if we can throttle them bad enough, they might give us peace on favorable conditions. So we shall see. I've got to take a piss first. I'm literally doing the pee-pee dance here. I'm sure you guys love that narration part here. Actually, I'm going to take all these prisoners. We're going to sell all of these guys. And that actually gives me a good opportunity to take the break. I'm trying to spare you guys the monotonous process where you sell 27 of this prisoner. No real nice loot to speak of here. It's kind of disappointing, although these are nice arrows. Relatively disappointing loot so far in this campaign. But I'm going to spare you this process where you go in and sell, 557 prisoners and keep certain ones and buy some shit, sell some shit at the market. I'm going to spare you guys that stuff as often as I can. And since I have to piss, this is a perfect opportunity to do so. We can spread around some of our troops. What I'm doing is I'm looking for Manchug right now. I don't see Manchug anywhere. I wish one of our units had him. I'm a tad bit tempted to execute the old fella. Not because there's any benefit or reason to that, just because Cole has a little bit of bloodlust. Cole, Wazuban. I'm going to correct myself for a while till I say Wazuban, Wazuban. Wazuban, it's the second, right, in the Aserai language. Ban is 2, right? We're creating our own language here. I learned that from Tolkien. Of course, I'm not going to create a whole alphabet, but that is a play on words, Wazuban. And I guess this is a good opportunity to break this out too. If you guys picked it up, maybe you're a linguist, or maybe you like playing with words, or you're one of those anagram fans, Wazuban. If you're curious, yes, it eventually is going to look very similar to Zuvan, right? That's going to be his name. Now, Wazuban is going to stay his actual name on the game, but that's where I got the inspiration for the name. This character, and of course my sort of persona, was Zuvan, right? That's the character from my previous campaign. So there you go, little puzzle for you fellas. Maybe you guys didn't realize that, and it's this a big epiphany, or maybe it's stupid and you don't give a fuck. But there you have it. Was Zuvan is Wazuban. Of course, we're not going to change the actual letters in the game. All right, I'm going to let the music play here. I'm going to fucking run to potty, and we will take a break. All right, fellas, a little bonus section today at the end of this episode because I realize I don't have the normal ending to the episode. So we're going to show you the astonishing power of the Aserai Mamluk Axemen. I'm going to try a series of different challenges here and see if we can't produce extraordinary results. Now, first, we'll try the Tier 6 Imperial Elite Cataphract, a Tier 6 unit against our Tier 3 Axemen. Now, I'd like to, let's see, how do I do this? I would like the Lords to have no effect, but evidently I can't use Arcor for both sides. Increased troop movement speed, decreased morale shock. That's not really going to have a tangible effect. I want the companions to have virtually no effect on these battles. So, let's see, how do I... It doesn't actually matter too much as long as they don't have like plus, you know, to melee damage or something like that. This is still going to be effective. Now, we're going to do a little bit of tactics with this series. We're actually outnumbered here. I didn't quite get us to 300. What we're trying to do, of course, with anytime you face cavalries, you're trying to slow them down. So we're going to form some squares. We will produce defensive squares anytime the cavalry is close to charging us, and we will try to use the terrain to bottle up the horses. Horses bottled up become a liability, and frankly we're going to be chopping up at the legs and the thighs and the backs of these cataphracts. Now I'm going to use the RTS mod extensively in this little experiment. This is a bonus section. I don't even know if these are all going to work, but obviously what we're going to try is we're going to try different challenges with this monster axeman. Now this is the only, at least as far as I'm aware, is the only tier 3 shock troop in the entire game, and what a shock troop it is, right? It has a short compact axe. It's almost like a miniature executioner axe. The cavalry's on us a little bit faster than I expected. Of course they're mobile, but I don't think that's going to matter. Now they're going slow over the edge of this ridge, and of course they're their own liability. They're getting in the way of each other. Now they're knocking some of our units down, but we're charging, right? And all these fucking guys are bellowing. They don't have great armor, but they do massive damage. And again, these are Imperial Elite Cataphracts with really good armor, and we're outnumbered, and these guys are absolutely slaughtering everything in sight. This is a rock, paper, scissors situation, but as you'll see, these guys are, it's more like rock, paper, paper or something like that. These guys destroy almost everything. Now, obviously, you can't take on Fiend Champs in the open and stuff like that, but in this little extra credit session here, I'm going to try a bunch of different challenges, and we'll see what we can do with these guys. You can already tell this first battle is a complete fucking massacre. So this is our cheap Tier 3 Axeman. Completely devastates, demoralizes, and eviscerates these elite cataphract. I mean, that was an absolute ass whipping. And we have like 80 or 90% of our troops left. I mean, it doesn't get any more savage than that, right? We had a 10-to-1 KDR here against a Tier 6 cataphract. Now, they would have been better off dismounting, but the enemy AI rarely does something so brilliant. All right, so let's try legionaries here. This will be a really tough challenge, but if we kite a little bit, we will use the tier 4 guys. I realized I said I was going to use the axeman the whole time. I've actually tried in the past to use the axeman and never been able to beat legionary, so we will use the in-between guy, not the palace guard, but I think it's called a Mamluk guard or something like that. We're going to call these guys axemen, right? So we're still out-tiered here. This is a tier 5 legionary, and by all accounts, one of the best infantry in the game against a tier 4 shock troop. Now, shock troops, of course, excel in combat, but most tests show that, like legionnaires against Manavelitons, the legionnaires do pretty damn well. A lot of times, depends on the formations and whatnot, the legionnaires tend to win that matchup. With our throwing weapon, though, here, I think we can win this battle. Now, I'm multitasking. You probably can't tell. I'm trying to get my cat off the fucking computer desk at the same time here. I got a very rambunctious older fella who insists on being in my lap when I'm playing Bannerlord. All right, here we go. We got one guy in a square there, one group in a square. That's the 1st division, and I assigned the 3rd and the 6th, my 2 charging divisions, right? And what I'm actually trying to do is bait the legionnaires just like this so they turn their sides to our 3rd division. They're now exposed to throwing axes, and we're going to start to kite with that 1st division. Break them into line formation, have those guys run, and the axes fly in here, and we're softening the legionnaires up, right? The melee is coming. We can't defeat them with axes being thrown. But it's a little extra thing, right? The guys are doing cumulatively 20 damage, 10 damage, and now we charge, right? The other thing you want to do, of course, just a simple tip, when you're charging with shock troops that have throwing weapons, when you charge, hold fire. You do not want like half your line trying to get an angle to throw a little pitiful axe. You want them swinging their giant fucking 2-handed weapon. Now, it's close. Well, we may lose some of these. We'll see. If they're close, I still may just leave them on here for you guys to sort of inspect some tactics, give your opinion on how to use them, and see the overall performance of these guys. It looks like we're going to win now. I'm looking up at the power bar. Of course, I'm not actually fighting. I'm using the RTS overhead mod here. Some of these I will fight hand-to-hand, and I might even throw a javelin or two, and some of these I will use the RTS overhead mod like this. Another destructive victory. Half our forces left here against legionnaires. Just cast them aside like they were ragdolls. And our tier 4 Mamluk guard does a butchering. All right, let's do sharpshooters now. Now, you cannot fight sharpshooters in the open. So I'm going to choose a map that works for us here. It's Icarage Plain or whatever. And this hill right here, this little ridge, is going to give us a chance for a peekaboo rush, right? A peekaboo ridge defense is where you try to shoot the enemy as they come over the ridge. We're going to try to do both. We're going to throw throwing axes as they poke their little sharpshooter heads over the ridge. And the other thing we're going to do is as soon as they're vulnerable and close to us, we're going to charge at these bad boys. Now, a key here is you have to be the one that's attacked. If they're defensive, you can never win this battle, right? They will pound you at range and you lose. But if they attack you, this is an option, right? You can bring our shock troops, and we're in a little bit of a race here. In fact, I'm going to break a division off here and put it on the ridge. I was going to use all of our divisions in one line, but I'm actually going to take one division, now it's the 1st actually, and put it right on the ridge. That way, if they get to that ridge, we can charge and put an axe in their face. The rest of them, I'm trying to put them in a big, long, thin line so that as many of them as possible can throw their throwing axes. It's really damage by composite or the sum of parts. Individually, these guys don't do a lot of damage, but if they throw 500 throwing axes, they do good damage. Look at the hail of throwing axes. It looks like one of those throwing axe competitions. And we're getting shot because they're counter shooting, but it's doing some major damage. So we're going to lead with this smaller division and then bring the bigger division behind them. There's a couple reasons I want to do that. Oh shit, that guy got hit really hard, I guess. The other reason I want to do this is potentially pull them down and envelop the enemy's right flank or left flank. This fucking guy here. I am fighting in this battle here because I might manually control some of these guys. I might pull these guys around to the south here. Now the sharpshooters are still shooting, but at this stage now they're too close. They should be kiting with some of their units. They're not. So we've got just a big axeman in their face, and it's close because sharpshooters are very capable fighters. But I think the axes are going to win out here. In fact, it does. The death spam looks pretty convincingly like we're going to end out on top of this challenge too. So legionnaires cast aside. What else can we do? Cataphract. Oh, I know what we can try. As I get killed here, it doesn't matter. I'm looking up at the power bar. We win. I get shot in the back here. Let's try the ultimate challenge with these savage motherfuckers. How about cons guards? And you guys are like, get the fuck out of here. Shut the fuck up. You cannot beat cons guards with shock troops. Maybe. I'm thinking of a map that we can use, and you know what map comes to mind? And you fellas, of course, that know the game well. Bogbeth Arch. Bogbeth Arch has a little tucked in sort of peekaboo ridge combined with a narrow spot where maybe we can channel them and force them in there to come get close to our axes. I don't even know if we can out damage their glaives. Cons guards are basically gods on a horse, but we're going to try. So there's the arch. We're going to rush there. Of course, if we can't rush there, this isn't going to work, and I'll just, we'll just wrap this up. This is extra credit. I am going to be focused on the Aserai units in some of these episodes, and I will have a longer section talking about more of their units, strengths, weaknesses, how I think you guys can benefit from using them. But for now, this is just a little challenge. Shit, we're barely beating them to the arch. Charge, motherfuckers. Okay, they're throwing some of their axes. Yeah, you don't actually want to charge through the arch. You just want to charge on this side and getting shot. This may not go well. Although I hardly see any cons guards. It looks like most of them pulled back. So we'll be able to butcher the poor handful that were stuck on this side. Now we're going to duck and get out of line of sight. And now we'll just wait for these bitches here. We can throw throwing axes, but... Oh, so I did some after narrating here. We basically sped things up. These fucking insolent pieces of shit would not charge us for whatever reason. So we waited. I watched them. I actually tried to move our units around, essentially trying to goad them into attacking before we eventually moved up. Now I'll give you some live narration as we follow through effectively what I did here to break this stalemate. It was coming up, so they had no reaction. Actually, they moved up a little bit when we moved our units back, and then as soon as we brought them back here and put them in a square, they just sat there still. I mean, these motherfuckers, these fucking sacks of shit. All right, so let's go ahead and just move around the edge of this. This is probably not going to work, but they are all bottled up. So let's charge with these bitches. We're using the RTS mod because I don't think this is going to work, but that's good death spam, right? We've got a bunch of them penned against the wall there, and they're not shooting. I don't know why they're not shooting. Maybe they can't see downhill, but our guys are stacked up on them and boring in on them. It's doing some good damage. There's horses running everywhere, and it's a little bit chaotic. I got axemen running after... I think they're running after the horses. Can't tell what they're running after. But it's close, right? I mean, at least we're doing some good damage. Let's push way up into there and just make our guys... Oh, shit. I'm fucking clobbered on the head. I was going to say, let's make sure our axemen are cramping them against the wall. That way they can't really move or shoot that well, and we can get our axes on their asses. Really, we're hitting their legs, right? Your shock troops hit guys in the legs and the back. And we've got a good position here now. Let's get these guys in here and just do some damage. Now, of course, I'm wailing away here, adding my damage to it because I figure if my character didn't die, this axeman would still be doing... He's probably not going to do as well as I'm going to do, but, you know, we're holding our own at least. It's not a disaster. And they are really bottled up. I think we're going to lose the war of attrition, though. I mean, the cons guards have a glaive, too. The glaive is nasty. If they ever get free to start shooting on us, then we're cooked. We are killing a lot of them on the way out, though. They're trying to get out, and we're just butchering them as they try to run. Some of them are not running for some reason. They should be trying to kite. Now they're starting to kite. They paid for it, though, on the way out. They suffered a lot of losses. We outnumber them now. Let's charge these bitches. Let's send our units over there in loose formation. Hopefully we don't take too many losses on the arrow volleys here. Of course, I'm using the RTS mod. Maybe this isn't optimal, but I don't want this to take 30 minutes. With all of that, I will probably edit out all that slow spot there with after editing. This is almost 25 minutes now. Anyway, so let's bore in here and at least go down in flames if we are going to lose. We're gonna at least leave a mark. They're like fleeing. I don't know what's happening here. They look very unconfident for some reason. Our axemen are still scoring kills. I'm slashing guys across the face. Charge, motherfuckers. We can win this shit. They're running. I hear fucking cons guards. It's over. They're saying it's over. Fuck yeah. How's that for a fucking upset? All right. I think that's it, unless someone from Kite. That's it. So that'll be all 4 challenges. We were successful here. That was incredible. Imperial Elite Cataphract cast aside, Legionaries destroyed, Sharpshooters, admittedly Sharpshooters with the right terrain we win, and obviously Cons Guards also with the right terrain. But have I convinced you guys that the Aserai Palace Guards and Axemen and Mamluk Guards are badass? Yeah, these guys are some savage motherfuckers. You could see why Wazuban likes his shock troops. Alright friends, well I'm going to wrap this extra long episode up. That was extra credit for you fellas who watched to the very end. I appreciate you fellas. Please hit that like button on the way out and go get yourself some Palace Guards, some Mamluk Axemen, and destroy the enemy. Sometimes guys ask me if we're using some kind of damage reduction mod or something like that. No, it's the custom battle mod. You should be able to replicate everything we just did. Go to the custom battle mod, challenge 300 elite cataphracts, use some squares, and you should be able to fuck the enemy up too. I appreciate you fellas. Good luck out there, and I will see you guys next time.